Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Good evening, family. This is Joe, No Picks Podcast.
What up, family? This is Todd checking in.
Heather here, No Fix Podcast, checking in.
Yes. Always good to have you, Heather. Always good to have you.
Thank you.
So, in the spirit of the presidential campaign and everything that's been going on, we're going to keep that energy. These clips seem to get a lot of traffic. These conversations generate a lot of discourse in our comment section. So,
Right.
we're happy to engage and talk about these things, right? So, we're going to talk about something called Project 2025. Please, family, if you guys are not aware, anyone is not aware of this, you should be more aware about this because this is huge for the next person who's going to be president, right? I'm going to play a clip from MSNBC where they talk about it briefly. And then after that, I got an article. Well, not an article. I'm going to let you know what we got, right? So I'm going to let the clip play, and then we'll see what you guys think about it, all right?
Okay.
All right, let me share my screen, and then let's close it up. All right, here we go. This is really interesting, y'all.
I'm hyped.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. All right, let's see. Here we go. All right, here we go.
Sometime now, we've been hearing about the Conservative Heritage Foundation's radical plan to reshape the U.S. government and inject it with deeply held ideologies, including Christian nationalism, the next time a conservative wins the presidency. The connection between Project 2025's vision of a Christian autocracy and the likely Republican nominee, Donald Trump, became chillingly clear this week. Trump took the stage at a Christian media convention on Thursday and let loose a string of unsettling remarks, laying bare his intentions for a Christian nationalist government if given another shot at the presidency. He outlined a number of proposals, including restricting transgender rights, including banning gender-affirming surgery, because he referred to it as child mutilation. His rhetoric escalated further as he declared, quote, "No one will be touching the cross of Christ under the Trump administration." In a bizarre comparison, Trump also likened his legal troubles to the crucifixion of Christ. Gesturing as if he were on a cross, he stated, "I take all these arrows for you. I'm being indicted for you." Trump's speech on Thursday echoed the blueprint outlined by Project 2025, which is a multi-million-dollar effort by Trump's allies aimed specifically at overhauling key government agencies in a potential second term. The project's mandate states that freedom is defined by God, not man. The radical plan calls for defunding the Department of Justice, dismantling the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security and Health and Human Services. It also aims to consolidate power by placing agencies like the Federal Communications Commission under direct presidential control. Imagine the effect that will have on government control of media by a man who's already strongly suggested that he will pull media licenses and he will sue and prosecute journalists. Project 2025 also proposes putting the Federal Trade Commission under direct presidential control, a boon to companies that want the freedom to merge and avoid regulations that are designed to protect consumers and a fair market. For months now, Project 2025 has also been vetting Trump loyalists to replace career civil servants throughout the government, including MAGA zealots Stephen Miller and Jeffrey Clark, the latter of whom is charged alongside Donald Trump in the Georgia racketeering case. When it comes to his next running mate, Axios reported in December that the vice presidential shortlist includes the likes of Tucker
Carlson,
Taylor Greene, and the failed Arizona gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake, a chilling sign that loyalty is being prized above all else. This week, Trump himself also chimed in with a few names of Republicans on his VP shortlist, all people whom will likely demonstrate fealty to him if selected. For more on this, I'm joined by Ruth Ben-Ghiat, an expert on authoritarianism and a professor of history at New York University. She's the author of the Lucid News.
All right, she's lovely, but I don't really care to hear her commentary, right? All right, so there's this thing called Project 2025. It was this manifesto. It is a manifesto. You can read it yourself. You can either see the digital version online, or you can pay the Heritage Foundation, and they will send you a hard copy. It's 920 pages, or 900 plus pages, right? It's ridiculously long. But this is basically all these conservative think tanks came together and said, listen, we need to have a plan. Should a conservative go into office, whether it's Trump or not? So I don't want to just label this as Trump.
Right.
Any conservative that wins. So if DeSantis wins, I don't know, if Nikki Haley comes out of the woodwork, and I don't know, but whatever conservative it is, it does not matter, right? This is basically the playbook for the next presidential candidate. And what they're saying is, we want to, this is our policy, this is our playbook, Project 2025. Now, the guy touched on a couple things, right? But just to reinforce what he said, I want to make sure you guys know some of the things about this policy, and then I'm curious to see what you guys think. But actually, before I go to that, what do you guys think about what was said initially, actually? Like, just that small little clip about Project 25 and the things that basically Republicans or conservatives are trying to dismantle. So I'll leave it at that. What was your initial reaction? Let's give it up. You know what, Ty? What you got, bro? What did you think about that short clip? It wasn't long.
I don't like it. I don't like it. It sounds a lot like big government, like the shit that the Republicans say they don't like all the time. But it's like, you're employing your homies, the people that's gonna kiss your ass. Like that's a little strange. Like of course you're gonna kiss your boss ass, right? Like a little bit, especially probably in them positions because that's probably linked to your status as a politician in some ways. But
Yeah.
bro, it's spooky. That shit. Oh, no one is gonna touch our cross. What the fuck does that mean? Like
Well,
so like.
remember they want to dismantle the federal government. So they actually they hate big government. They're trying to dismantle it. They're trying to get rid of the EPA. They're
But it sounds
trying.
like they're getting rid of government and replacing it with their own version of government. There's still going to be a government, but it's just got to be like the Republican and then their homies,
But
so they
they're
can
also trying
control.
to concentrate all the power in the executive branch. So basically, they want the executive branch, which is the president, the White House, to
Right,
have way more power than all of the other two branches of government, right? So they're like, we don't want checks and balances. We want to get rid of some of the restrictions that the president's office has, so that they can do whatever they want to do with that, right? But
right.
basically, they want to concentrate the power in the executive branch. They want to dismantle the federal government, get rid of the EPA, Department of Education. They want to get rid of basically hand over the FTC, like they said, to the executive branch. They want to ban abortions. They want to ban gender affirming surgeries. They want to ban, well, abortions is the big one, right? They want to completely ban that and across the board. So these are some. So it's not about they hate big government. They want less regulation, right?
It sounds like the opposite of what what they always talk about the forefathers, George Washington, and all these
Right.
motherfuckers. John Hank. Like it sounds like the opposite of what they would have wanted, right? Like because if
I think so too. I think so too. And a lot of our forefathers spoke out against this, the government or one of the executive branch having way
too
too
much
much power.
power,
That's why
yeah,
we set checks and balances. That's the
right,
reason why you have to be accountable to every other branch before you can push certain things. Before things become into law or things get.
yeah.
So
No, no.
anyway,
Hopefully this
so
shit
yeah,
don't pass. This rubs me the wrong way. This is like an authoritative government, and I mean, if you're getting
right.
the things that you want, then you're winning. You don't give a shit anyway about the others. Like you don't care about fairness if you're getting what you want, right?
So
But
initial reactions, right? Hold on, hold on.
yeah,
So that you cooking now, but I
yeah,
want to get into it after Heather
right.
shares your initial thought, because then I want to tell you guys what exactly, like, not all of it, because like I said, it's 900 plus
It's
pages, but
big,
like
yeah.
you guys need to know, like, this is a manifesto. It's already a policy. It's there. There's a playbook for the first 180 days for the next conservative or Republican president in office, and how to go about starting this process, right? So this is real. This is not a joke. This is
Right.
not fabrication. This is not fake news. You can Google it, Project 2025. They have their own website if you want to see what it entails and what it says. We're gonna do that, right? But Heather, what do you think at first from the clip, like, or about what we've been talking about? Like, remember that it doesn't matter if it's Trump. This is whoever the next Republican candidate is. They're already preparing the playbook for that president and for his presidency or hers.
So, couple things off the rip. I have to take into consideration the source, right? And who's delivering the message. And I
Right.
say to myself, it's probably best if I read that 900-page manifesto to be able to positively make an informed decision on where I stand on a lot of things. I have heard in the past these same people come out with what they believe is written in, and then I go ahead and read it and it says something completely different. And so my initial response is I stand with Christ being in schools. I stand with the Pledge of Allegiance being said at every morning. I stand with the get rid of the gender transferring, all those things. I agree, get rid of it. Like no gender affirming care. I don't think that that should even be something that's covered under medical. I think that should be covered under mental illness and psychologists engaged and such. But my knee-jerk reaction is I have to have more information, because the way he describes it may not be what it says at all. And that has happened in the past
but
too
it
many
is.
times. Like, have you read it? Did you read it?
It is, Heather.
Like, did you read it?
Because I'm so curious about it. The all 900 pages, no, I have not. But
So
you can find various articles that are discussing it, because people are, listen, this is real. Like, this is a real document. It came out of the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank that's responsible, big conservative think tank. But these points are real. They do want to dismantle these things. They do want to enforce these things. They also want basically to have more of a Christian centric society, almost like a theocracy. Like, it's kind of like Christian nationalism. Like, they want to
I'd be okay
have
with that.
God. Or would you?
I mean, I don't honestly, I don't care either way.
So I don't care what people believe. Like, I believe that I grew up with Christianity in my school system. I did Pledge Allegiance every morning. It wasn't like embedded or taught or even preached. It was more like you just be normal in the morning and you say the Pledge of Allegiance, right? And then you grow up in your home full of Christian like morals or values, and then you, as you get older, you determine whether you still stand on being good or not. And most Christians, I think, operate from a place of wanting to do the right thing. I don't think that they have ill intentions. I don't think a lot of religions have ill intentions. There's only a few specific religions I think have ill intentions. But if I were to argue, if there were to be religion put back into school, I'd be okay with it being Christianity.
Okay, well then, someone like Heather would be okay with this. I'm not. This scares me. I think any type of religious nationalism is never good for any country or any government. I do wish that government, state, and church were in fact separated. I know that they're not in this country. I know that how
Right.
heavily, people's religious beliefs affect policy and affect political discourse. I would not like that. As somebody who's not religious, I don't want to live in a country that's enforcing Christian views or values when I might not be that. You know what I mean? I'm not an atheist, but I'm not really a religious person. So
Right.
I'm thinking about people who don't fall into that Christian thinking. Like, where do they fit in this puzzle? Like, I don't know. I feel like we're kind of like,
See, but this goes back to like I need to read it because I
no,
don't
yeah,
if
of
it's like
course.
if it's like this forced exclusivity, forcing of this brainwash indoctrination of Christianity, then no, I don't support it. But if it's just like a general say the Pledge of
Yeah.
Allegiance in the morning, I'm not saying
I
pray
got you.
before lunch. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying I want you to pray before lunch and all the times. I'm not like just what it was like when we were in kids. I think is fine. Uh, giving kids something to look have faith in, I don't think is anything wrong with that. Deciding later on in life if they want to have faith or not. But if you don't have anything, then and you're living for nothing, then I mean, even if it's not a god, maybe it's a higher power. Whatever religion it is, I'm not saying has to be like this Jesus on a cross because I don't necessarily follow that category either, right? I'm
Yeah.
Jewish,
Right.
so there's a lot of discrepancies in our beliefs there, but I do believe that having something, teaching kids to have faith in something is better than not teaching them to have faith in anything.
That's fair.
That's fair. All right, so a little more context, and then
Yeah,
see
I
where
need
you
to know
guys are.
more.
And
Yeah, I
just
need
and
to know
because right,
more.
no, so this is why I'm hype about this too, because even if we can't agree, or even if it's still a little confusion about what it is, or or if people have sort of like skepticism, I think everybody should have a healthy skepticism of this. But I feel
Yes,
like
Right.
yes.
I hope that this episode, even with you two, that you guys will go at some point when you have downtime, like, all right, Project 2025,
I'm going
what
to.
is this? Yeah, please, because
Yeah.
this is going to happen with the next conservative candidate potential. Like this is huge, right? So just really quickly, so it says, and now I tried to find an article that like listed the points, but like it's so hard to really find one that just gets straight to the point and just gives you like a too long don't read. You know what I mean? So just really quickly, I'm gonna read what this is, and this is coming from. I hate to say this because I couldn't use this as a source in college papers. It's coming from Wikipedia. There's different
Right.
sources, right? But there's different
Yeah.
sources, right? But this is the easiest concise thing, right? So it says. So really quickly, Project 2025, also known as the Presidential Transition Project, is a collection of policy proposals to thoroughly reshape the U.S. federal government in the event of a Republican victory in the 2024 U.S. presidential election. Right. So it was established in 2022. It aims to recruit tens of thousands of conservatives to D.C. to replace existing federal civil servants whom Republicans characterize as part of the deep state, and to further the objectives of the next Republican president. So they're going to take everybody who's in these positions in these political offices and replace them with people who are being trained by their think tanks. So they're going to be trained conservative think tanks who are ready to implement or do whatever it is, whatever the Republican president candidate, whatever that president is, they're going to do whatever that person wants, right? And he's going to put all the people in the right offices to enforce all of that, right? So this is that's the start of that. But some of the interesting things is let me see. It says envisions widespread changes across the entire government, particularly in regard to economic and social policies and the role of the federal government. Right. It proposes slashing funding for the Department of Justice, dismantling the Federal Bureau of Investigation, that's the FBI, and the Department of Homeland Security, sharply reducing environmental and climate change regulations to favor fossil fuel production, eliminating the Department of Commerce, and ending the independence of various federal agencies such as the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, that's basically media, either through satellite radio or like podcasting or any all news sources, right? The
Oh shit,
federal
we ain't gonna be able to podcast. Oh
hold
shit.
on. The Federal Trade Commission, the blueprint seeks to institute tax cuts, though its writers disagree on the wisdom of protectionism, right? And then a few more things. It says it recommends abolishing the Department of Education, whose programs would be either transferred to other government agencies or terminated. Scientific research would receive federal funding only if it suits conservative principles. The project urges the government to explicitly reject abortion as healthcare and to restrict access to contraception. The Heritage Foundation, an American American conservative think tank that leads the development of Project 25, asserted in April 2024 that the radical left hates families and wants to eliminate the family and replace it with the state, while driving the country to emulate totalitarian nations such as North Korea. Right. So this, and then last couple things. Right. The project seeks to infuse the government with elements of Christianity, stating in its mandate that freedom is defined by God, not man. Project 2025 proposes criminalizing pornography, removing protections against discrimination based on sexual or gender identity, and terminating diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, as well as affirmative action. So this is just a few things that, and they're also for free banking, which is interesting. And free banking basically is monetary arrangement where banks are free to issue their own paper currency while also being
What the
subject to
hell?
no special regulations beyond those applicable to most enterprises. So they also want a free banking system. So you got to understand, these people who are creating these policies, they're all billionaires, they're all capitalists, they're all like hedge fund managers, CEOs. These are some of the richest people, and they're pushing for more tax cuts. They want to change the tax system as well. They want to reduce the corporate tax to 18%. They're trying to do a lot of things, right? And this is a playbook. They have a playbook for the first 180 days on how to implement all of these things in this manifesto, in this document, right? So I'll leave it at that. Family, Heather, Ty, when we finish this episode later on in the future, maybe this weekend, please research Project 2025, because just know that if you vote for Trump or if you vote for the Republicans, you are voting for this manifesto. You're voting for everything that comes with that, because they are going hard to implement this. They even have the first 180-day plan. So they're going hard.
Does Trump know about this plan?
Yes, he does.
Did he write the book?
No, it was the Heritage Foundation. It was in
Oh,
2022.
okay.
Basically, they're trying to put a lot of people who were in Trump's administration back on board.
Does he support it? He said he does support it.
Of course he does. He wants
Yeah,
Christian
it benefits
nationalism.
him. It would benefit
Right.
him.
And
I don't even listen. Maybe I'm wrong, right? But I would even take the religious part out. I don't think he care about that. It just seems to have. It gives him more power. What president wouldn't want that? You feel what I'm saying? Like, what president wouldn't want more authority, more power? If you want to disguise it under the realm of Christianity, cool, knock yourself out. I don't give a shit. I'm sure he's not going to church every Sunday. He's just gonna be like, all right, cool, give me more power. But I think any president would do that shit. Like, okay, cool.
But are you okay with that though? Like, man, remember, we have checks and balances. Now,
Right.
listen, our government, our system is corrupt. It does not benefit the working man, the average American. I'm telling you right now, I hate the system, right? But I live in it, so I have to function in it. I have to do what I got to do. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, they're trying to remove all of that and put all of the power in the executive branch. They're getting all of their billionaire friends in on it, so they're going to lower their taxes, giving themselves more tax cuts, no access to abortion. They're trying to criminalize pornography. They're trying to do basically all these Christian values. Like, they're trying to make it a Christian nationalist state. And this is what you would be voting for if we vote for a Republican candidate, right? So, I hate both parties.
Right.
I'm FJB, but I'm also told you I'm not voting Trump or Republican.
Right.
I'm an independent, and people like me who think like me or like just are independent. This is a hard time for us because we always hate the fact that we only have two choices.
Right.
I hate the fact that they're trying to, the Democrats did it. They didn't let RFK join the debates. They're not going to let him. They're not putting on certain ballots. They're not, what I mean? The Green Party can't even get on the stage to debate. Like, they're basically stifling democracy. And we've talked about that before. They're taking people off ballots. They're trying to get Trump off the ballot. They're trying to take away democracy and our right to vote for who we want. Like, so much is happening right now. But I want you guys to know, because you guys are like, pro-Trump. And I'm like, listen, you can be happy. You can exercise your right to vote. But do you know of Project 2025? So I'll leave it at that. And I'm just curious to see what you guys, Heather, maybe with that little more context, like, does it change your perspective? Or like, are you worried about this? Are you embracing this? Because people are saying this is like fascism starting to take over. Like,
even if it was exactly how you describe it to be, I think I'm actually open to it, because something needs to change, bro. Something needs to change. Like, this fucking
we should
education.
Go to fascism to change things.
The education sucks. Like, what are we gonna do? Just do more of the same? Just let 40 more years go by? Kids can't even fucking read in our community, bro. So what the fuck? Like,
so I hear you, right? But my concern, my feeling is that, so think about it. They tried to ban TikTok. Why did they try to ban TikTok? And multiple politicians, Republican politicians, Mitt Romney included, have spoken openly about why they pushed so hard to ban TikTok. Do you guys know why they tried to ban TikTok?
Because it's a Chinese-owned company, and they believe...
They're saying that it's because of security, their securities and data leaks and things like that. But I think the truth is because it gives people like us a voice. It gives people power to be able to share information that they would otherwise like to try to censor.
Because yes, so that's the spirit of it, right?
But but they will tell you it's because of security and all those other things.
But now we know that they've stated it's because where do you think Gen Zers, where do you think young millennials and Gen Zers are getting most of their news from? They're not getting it. They're not
learning
getting it
something
from
new every
corporate media.
day.
They're
I know
getting
we're
it
learning.
from social media. TikTok
Yeah.
has been one of the biggest sources of news for young people. And the thing is, our government can't regulate it because they don't own it.
Right.
So they're worried that these young people who have vastly different views from like the boomers and the people before them and these old white people that we talked about in Congress, their views are so different from them. And so they're trying to remove ways for these young people to basically have their own discourses, get information that's not corporate media or doesn't have corporate bias, like MSNBC, CNN, Fox News. Fuck all them the news agencies. I hate corporate media. I've said it before. I always push independent media, but they're trying to they tried to push out independent media from YouTube by making certain platforms fall out of the algorithm, making it harder to find certain. You have to literally go and type in a name where they've done so much to basically make sure that the information that we are receiving is the information they want us to see, right?
100%,
So
yes.
what I'm
I
thinking
agree.
is that these are old white conservatives who are afraid that young people have more information via the internet, via social media, different ways. They think different.
See,
They want a different future, and old people don't want to change.
I
And
would
so they're trying to
disagree
make
with
so we can't
I,
change.
I would disagree with the characterization. I believe fucking black people in power as well don't want shit to change. Hispanic people in power don't want shit to change because the current system benefits them. So I don't think it's just a old white dude thing. Listen, I bet President Obama don't want shit to change. I bet you fucking I bet AOC don't want shit to change.
But Obama, remember, he filled his entire cabinet with Citibank bankers. After he bailed out the banks with our tax money, Obama, he then filled his cabinet. And we know this through all the WikiLeaks and all the emails that were disseminated through the WikiLeaks. It was a huge stock of emails from government agencies, all types of stuff. We know that Obama filled his cabinet with Citigroup bankers? It says Citibank? Yeah, with bankers. So he was never for us. You know what I mean? Obama was never for the people. We always
Right.
he was very clear in the messaging and who he filled in his cabinet. So I agree with you. These people
Right.
don't care. But but they're all part of the same establishment. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Like color don't matter. If you're with the agenda, welcome in. We'll embrace you. We'll
Yeah,
use you. You know what
absolutely.
I mean? So I don't know. I just want to make sure you guys are aware about this because this is real. Like this is not fake news. Like this is a
Yeah.
document. It was written and created like almost 2 years ago. But now that we're gonna vote, I'm like, listen, y'all. A vote for a Republican would be a vote for Project 2025. So at least be educated on it and make sure that
Yeah.
you're okay with that. You know what I mean? I just want to make sure you guys know that and the family knows that because this is pretty serious, guys. Like,
Yeah, I
don't
think I'm
say
still gonna
much.
vote. I'm still gonna vote Trump.
Oh
So
my
yeah.
God. We about to be a fucking fascist nation
Go-
in
Also,
2024.
bro, because like
We're gonna be a Christian nationalist nation in
if not,
2024, bro.
if not, we'll have to vote for Biden, and everybody in here will be Venezuelan.
But that's the
So
problem there. That's the problem is that's the only choices we have. Doesn't
I mean,
that frustrate y'all?
it definitely frustrates me. But
That part's
I'm like,
frustrating. Yeah.
I mean, listen. I think society in general just sucks. My whole plan is try to make as
really
much
does,
of money as
though.
possible. Take me and the select people around me into the mountains somewhere with the goats and shit, and then you know what I mean. Just leave you assholes alone. So
I know that's right. I know that's
All
right.
right,
Let me
well,
tell you
listen.
something.
Yeah.
I feel like this. Listen, the last thing that I think should be outlawed under any regime or democracy is porn. Porn should not be outlawed. We should keep porn.
I'm with that.
We should not let that. That is one thing I am against out of everything you read. I stand firm on that. Do not outlaw porn. Okay, that's all.
Golly, man. Thank you. Sheesh. All
I'm
right.
saying I don't agree with everything that's in there. I'm gonna read it, but I'll
Right.
stand firm when I
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that I disagree with outlawing or
Hey, Joe.
criminalizing pornography.
Joe and Heather,
I'm with you.
if they do outlaw porn, the women might pick the bear instead of
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, they might think that.
they might pick the bear.
Right. Oh my
All
God,
right.
that's so funny.
Well, listen, I'm gonna wrap it up, right? But I really appreciate you guys like bearing with me as I read and make sure you had some
Yeah.
context. Please, Project 2025 family. Final thoughts now. My final thought is I hope that our family, when they watch this, go research. Don't listen to me. Who the
Right.
fuck am I?
Right.
Go do the research and
I
see
am.
and be more informed on who you're voting and what policies. Because see, I vote for policy. I don't give a fuck about personalities. Do your policies help me and help the average American? They do, I'll vote for you. If not, I'm not voting for you. But that's just me. You know what I mean? So be more informed. That's my final thought. So Heather and then Ty. But Heather, what's your final thought on this?
I appreciate you sharing Project 2025. Is it 25 or 2025?
It's 2025. Yeah.
Okay, Project 2025. I appreciate you sharing that information with us. I am going to take you up on reading about that. I do tend to lean on the. I like being better informed when I make decisions, and even in these debates, I like to know what the hell I'm talking about. So I will read that, and I would like to circle back on that. Final thoughts are peace and grace to everybody as we journey through this unknown time, and God only knows what's out there, or whoever really knows what's. I didn't mean to say God. Sorry, only knows what's going to happen. But peace and love to everybody. Till
Right.
next time.
Yeah. So Trump 2024. That's all.
Trump 2024. Woo
FJB. All right, yo. Well,
All right. Yeah.
until next time.
Signing off.